Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into the Performance Lab. Don't forget to subscribe below to the right for updates to new videos. Hey, what's up everyone? Morey Croson here from the Performance Lab in California, and we have a new video for you today. It'll be about the follow through during the throw. I've been seeing a lot of this and doing the breakdowns and really people struggling with one, being able to get the ball to a point where it's facing straight ahead, right, which is an important part to be able to release, and a big part that goes into getting the nose of the football to face straight ahead is just maintaining a parallel position with the forearm in comparison to the ground, right? So everything's straight down. Instead of what I'll see a lot of is like the wrist kind of breaking, or making this so the ball's placing in different areas. So notice how when my hand breaks here, that now the ball is not facing towards the target, but if I can get my hand to the ball to face towards the target, my wrist is going to be in a more straight upright position, and that just requires a little bit more emphasis on driving the elbow through, and that's another thing that we've really seen with a lot of the quarterbacks that are setting up breakdowns in comparison to a lot of the top quarterbacks, is that as they're coming through, there becomes a time period where they just don't put as much focus on the elbow. The elbow starts lagging behind, whether it's because they're rotating off to the side too much, or they're dropping their elbow down after the initial load, or there's a wide variety of different reasons why the elbow doesn't end up coming forward and through, but that is something that is really important to be able to address. And then as you're coming through, so now we get the elbow up on top, we want to be able to allow the ball to come off in a way where the index finger is the last thing that ends up leaving. And to make sure that's happening is that as you're finishing through, you want to make sure the ball is, your arm is coming down towards your other side pocket and really coming all the way through. So, especially when you start throwing more of like the deep balls or a longer range, like maybe a 30-yard throw, a lot of times what ends up happening is guys that usually have a nice natural release all of a sudden are releasing the ball and just kind of holding the arm out like this. So the release looks like this, like kind of like stopping as they're going, especially on the deep balls. It's something that is very hard for me to understand, right? Because it's, when you're throwing a deep ball, you think you want to be able to put more on it and more behind the ball, but a lot of times you guys are going and you change the shoulder height, which is great, but then as you're actually finishing through, you're kind of stopping. Right? And when you just stop, now you don't get as much wrist in, you don't finish through with like the under part of the arm, and you just stop your momentum. So make sure as you're finishing through, you're coming all the way down towards your front pocket. And so, because that could be on either side. And so when you're going here, now as the ball's coming off your hand, if you end up feeling it like it's coming off like your ring finger or middle finger, a lot of times what's happening is because you're coming through and the ball is coming, your hand's coming more like this, right? So that makes it so now the spiral might not be as nice, and you're coming with your arm a little bit more across this way. So, there's a few things that you can do with the load that can end up helping you out there, but really just understanding the follow through, that instead of you wanting to come across your body during the follow through, you really want to be able to put a focus on coming downwards through that follow through, and making sure that as the ball is leaving your hand, the ball's leaving your hand in a way that's basically so the index finger is the last thing to leave, and then as your hand's rotating, it's rotating in a way that makes it so the pinky comes more upwards and you're finishing down and through like that, right? So there's a big wrist snap, you're here, and then wrist snap, boom, right here, and then coming right down and through from that position will make it so you have a better chance of getting the spiral in comparison to if you just go here, right? You're not going to get as nice of a spiral because this is more pushing the ball forward, right? So now the ball is going to leave your hand a little bit more like that, right? Then it might end up getting some spin to it, but if you go here, now what's going to happen is that the ball is going to leave your hand and it's going to be spiraling as it leaves your hand, so now you can get a lot tighter overall spiral. Then just make sure that you're just finishing all the way through and down, because that ends up being a big part as well, and maybe so it'll affect the spiral. So if you're going and you have a weird throw, but the ball feels like it's coming off your index finger, it's probably because you're going too far off to the side, and even if you're finishing down at the pocket, you might even be going off to the side and then down at the pocket. So just make sure you're coming here and then you're driving straight down with the arm rather than coming across and then down or something like that. So you don't want to end up going too far like this. You really want to be able to come straight down and through in order to maximize your throw. All right? Hopefully that makes sense in terms of both the first thing that we talked about with improving your actual load and making sure you're not dropping the elbow. You got to be able to get that elbow through, the forearm to be parallel with the ground, Okay, and then the next thing is when you're following through and actually finishing, coming right down to your front hip rather than making it so you end up coming too far across. All right, let me know if you guys have any questions. Check out some of our drill programs. We're going into the new year. Happy New Year, everybody. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know. Talk to you soon. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you really enjoyed it. And if you did, you could subscribe down below, and that way you can get updates on any of the new videos that we get. Also, if you want to, you can check out some of our other breakdowns for speed and throwing. We have exercises, also jumping mechanics videos, a lot of great stuff within our channel. Hope you enjoy.